I just realized I didn't write any description for this video, which I'll be doing later, but all of you guys know this video is the card reading for today, which will be, this part you might not know, but with the wild unknown animal spirit and Yana Kasperczak here in the cold of Ontario coming into your life. And my soul's purpose is to help you get your shit together so you can break free from that mental prison that you find yourself in and live the life that you are happy with, that you love, that you are proud of, and show up for yourself and for your business or your career, whatever it is that you are building or focusing on. So let these cards help us today. Let's see how many of you hop on thinking, what is she going to be talking about today? Because there's no description, absolutely no description for the video. I don't think I've ever done that before. That's how excited I was to, yeah, no description. That's how excited I was to just hop on. I'm like, ooh, 11:30, I am right on time. Let's click, go live, and here we go. Okay, let me open this up so I can see any comments on there because my phone might not show anything up. So bear with me as my energy is a bit low today. It's family day here in Ontario. I don't know if it's just Ontario or it's the whole entire Canada. Regardless, everybody's home, and I'm happy when everybody's home. And I am tired as we worked out quite a bit yesterday, and then we got back into renovating our house, which, as you can imagine, involves quite a bit of work and energy. So I'm a little tired today, but regardless of how tired we are, we're excited to get this started. We're excited to get the day going. So let's see. Just one card for today. I'm not gonna go nuts, as you know, you guys all know I can. We already had this card. So I guess we're gonna do the Beaver reading today again. I still want to do another card because we already had that one, and a butterfly. You know what? Whatever. I'll just do a 3-card reading. So this is the past, because we already had this card. I feel like it's more so in the past. And then the butterfly is in, I'll turn it around so you can see. The past, the present, and the future is a hyena. Okay. I know we've had the hyena before. Butterfly, I feel like it's quite self-explanatory, but I'm going to go through these quick as this is down. Beaver, Beaver, Beaver. I know it's somewhere here. Come on, Beaver. Oh, there we go. Beaver, the first one, the past, okay? Which we already read, so it's quite literally in the past, but it's still part of who you are today. It still is there. The past is what makes us. We are no one without our past. Good morning, Debbie, to you as well. Thanks for hopping on here. Okay. Beaver as the past card. Hard worker, loyal, tireless, family first. Today being Family Day here in Canada or Ontario, wherever it is. Family first. But you guys are my second family, so here I am, sharing my family day with my second family. The Beaver personality is a welcome sight. These good-natured and dependable creatures have infinite love and enthusiasm for family and express it by way of earth element, providing a home, financial stability. So working hard, making sure the home is nice and safe and comfortable. As I mentioned earlier, we went back to renovating our house, so That's our way of being a beaver and getting back into being a beaver by making the beaver's den as nice and as cozy it can be, not just for our kids, but for ourselves, and for the future family that will be living in here at some point. And financial stability, you know, we all have our own different ways of how we can create the financial stability for ourselves and for our families. Hey, Rebecca. Rebecca says, hey girl, I feel like it's been a long time. LOL. I feel like it's been a long time as well, even though it's just been since Thursday that we saw each other on the live. But in live, it was since last Tuesday, which tomorrow we'll see each other again on the Sacred Circle. So looking forward to that. So this is for the past. As you're hopping on, Rebecca, I'm reading the card for the past, and then this is going to be the present, and then the future. Although a beaver doesn't usually initiate a project, once started, they'll work steadily for weeks, months, and years to see it through. What is a project that you have, maybe you, like it says, that you might not have initiated, in like a straightforward manner, but you have been working tirelessly at this project to create or provide a home and financial stability. Because it says that although a beaver doesn't usually initiate a project, once started, they'll work steadily for weeks, months, and years to see it through. So I'm curious to hear, what is that project that pops into your mind that you know you are an eager beaver at right now? For me, you know, business is one, but renovating our house is definitely another. The business is the one that I initiated, and with the house, it's what we just initiated ourselves. This is our third house, and I feel like little by little, we've just been renovating more and more and more. From the first house, we just, you know, fixed up certain things in the main floor. In the second house, we completely did the basement because it was a brand new house as well as the first one, and the basement was not done at all, so we did the basement there. And then with this one, we're just completely redoing practically everything. Interested to hear, to think of what the fourth house will be. We'll see when we get there. The beaver card appears when the task at hand requires your long-term steady effort. So there's a long-term steady effort that is required by you, from you, to allow you to live the life that you do want to live. And the first thing that comes to mind is the mindset. Because right now your mind is set in a certain way. And in order for you to live the life that you want to live, you need to reset that mind of the set that you have, the mindset. Get it? If we really listen to the words and start to break them apart and make sense of what the word means itself to us as individuals, to me, that's what mindset means. It's a set of thoughts, beliefs, phrases, habits, ways of interpreting and understanding things. That's what makes up a mindset. It's like a set of cards, right? This is a set of cards. And I read the same card in a different way because now my mindset is different. So I'm reading this set of the beaver in a different way than I read it the first time around. So just planting that seed, or more like a reminder for you all, because I feel like you guys already know this. And requires long-term steady effort. It can also signify that it's time for some karma yoga, selfless service. Take care of yourself, put yourself first. Do some yoga. For me, when I hear yoga, it means stretching, and boy, does my body use some of that stretching. After that workout we did yesterday as a family, and then going to do the renovations and literally washing the walls and the ceiling and scrubbing it all, I could use some stretching, which I'll be doing later, which will be my karma yoga. And I know my husband can use the stretching as well. So now, when in balance, happy, meaningful work. When out of balance, feels useless, worn out. To bring into balance, physical labor and selfless service. So, just to point out, when out of balance. When you're out of balance, you might feel useless, worn out, not enough, not good enough, didn't do enough, and tired and exhausted, worn out. To bring to balance, do some physical labor for yourself. Sometimes it could be for others as well. Hey Kelly, how are you doing? Beautiful. Good morning to you as well. I'm going to read a comment I saw. Rebecca shared something on there, so I'm going to read it in a second. And selfless service, meaning do something for someone without expecting anything in return. Check your intention when you go and do something, when you offer something. Hey Laura, how are you doing? Beautiful. Good morning to you as well. When you're doing something, and this I do notice sometimes people offer help and support, or let me do this for you, let me do that for you, but they have an agenda, they have an intention behind that, that I do this for you, but that means that you owe me. That way is, I can't say that I've lived that way ever, but by being the observer of how others live that way, how others have been on the receiving end of that type of personality trait, because it is a personality trait and we can't change our personality. If we don't like something about us, we can change it. And how it doesn't feel good, because it feels like you give something and then you're not getting anything in return. It feels bad. And I feel like, yeah, we all have a little bit of that in us. That's the level 1 energy, quite often, where we feel the victim when we give and give and give, and we help and help and help, and we go into that hole of, what about me? Does anybody see what I need? Does anybody see what I want? When is my turn to get? So we all have that in us. So I know I do, but overcoming it, recognizing, no, I did it because I wanted to, not because I wanted to get something in return. Okay, let me take a peekaboo at the comments. It's just a pain in the butt to scroll the comments on my phone because it almost takes like switches back and forth. Rebecca says, beautiful card. Thank you. I'm excited about these cards as well, because I remember Hyena was pretty interesting. Butterfly, I feel like it's self-explanatory, but we'll still read it. I'm not going to go too much into depth into that. Rebecca says, I think it's the new puppy for me. Ooh. My daughter adopted it, but it's now part of the household, and I'm trying to figure out how I can help with the puppy now that she's going back to nursing school. Yeah, that definitely sounds like, although the Beaver doesn't usually initiate a project, because raising a puppy is a project, I will tell you that, but if you do it in the right way for you, basically meaning, identifying what do you want from this puppy, and how do you want this puppy to fit into your household, and how do you want the puppy behave, how you don't want the puppy behave. If you're okay with the puppy jumping on people, then continue to allow it, because typically puppies jump on people. And if not, then what are you going to do to correct it and make sure it does not happen? And it's not just the puppy that you need to correct, it's the people that allow the jumping as well. If you don't want the puppy to run out the door, what are you going to do to train it to make sure it doesn't happen? And it sounds like exactly what we were talking about here, that you didn't initiate this project, but once started, they'll work steadily for weeks, months, or years to see it through. Now, luckily, with the dog, If you focus and dedicate enough time and energy every single day, and not just you, but everybody needs to be involved in the training of the puppy. Because if you're doing something and then everybody else is doing the opposite, the puppy's not going to learn. So luckily with the puppy, with the dog, it just takes about a year to train it fully. And then afterwards, you're good. With a kid, I mean, it's a lifelong training. Right? So that's why some people opt out of having kids and opt in for having puppies and dogs. Okay, so now let's go into the butterfly, which is the present right now. That was the past, now it's the present. Because with a puppy, you've already had it for a while. Butterfly, butterfly. Which direction? I think it might be in the other direction. And there we go, butterfly. Ooh, opened up pretty quickly. Try not to put my hand over the candle and burn myself. I decided to burn a little black candle today. I feel like I need a little bit of cleansing of the dark energies. So that's to you guys as well in your lives. Okay, butterfly, undergoing great change and transformation. How exciting is that? The energy of the butterfly is with us during periods of transition. Since air is the element of the heart, this change usually involves relationships. A change in your relationships. Or if you love your job, perhaps changing your career. Or it's also both. It's not limited to one or the other. If you love your relationship, that's what I'm hearing here. That if you love your relationship, you love your job or career or business or your venture, that is where change is going to start to happen and evolve into a beautiful butterfly. Since transition is accompanied by some amount of discomfort, the word discomfort I'm going to highlight. We do not grow when we are comfortable. We grow when we are uncomfortable. So the quicker that we get comfortable during the uncomfortable, and that is the mindset. The biggest part of growth is the mindset. So when we are growing and we're uncomfortable or feeling discomfort, if your mindset is negative, you're going to feel negative and you feel like things are happening to you. But when your mindset is positive, you will think and believe and know things are happening for you. And what you focus on grows. So if you focus on these things are happening to me, why me, this doesn't feel good, I don't like this, why are things going this way, why this, why that, then it will continue to happen. But if you have a positive mindset, that will grow and you'll have more and more and more of that. Be extra patient and kind during this time, especially if the butterfly is you. Meaning that it might not be just you, and often it is not just you who's going through growth spurts. It's the other person. It's your business. It's your career that's going through growth spurts and experiencing discomfort. So be patient with the other party. Be patient with yourself. Be kind and be gentle with yourself and with the other party. Be understanding that you are not the only one here. Okay? Let solid friends and activities support you like a cocoon. Ask for help. Ask for support. Know that you don't have to do this alone. You know that you don't have to go at it alone. If you're feeling too much discomfort, reach out to someone who can help you. All you need. There was something I came across that we need 8 minutes for our mindset to be switched and feel better. So all you need is reach out to a friend and ask, do you have 8 minutes? 8 minutes just to talk and chat, or send an 8-minute message to a friend just to get that out and allow yourself to process what is spiraling inside of you. that discomfort. And when you do that, you'll feel so much lighter, like a butterfly and not a caterpillar, and you feel like you can fly. Committing to one daily routine, a meal, practice, or prayer done at the same place and time will do wonders for lifting a butterfly spirit. So perhaps right now there's a habit that you have that is not working for you. Maybe that part of that habit is the time that you do what you do, or the activity. So switch it up. Try something different. Do that thing that you like and enjoy at a different time. Because sometimes you might decide, let's say, I want to have my coffee by 9 o'clock, and morning gets away from you, and now it's 9:30 and you haven't had your coffee. In that situation, what can tend to happen is that you start to be down on yourself, that I said I wanted to have my coffee by 9 o'clock and now it's past 9 o'clock, so I'm a failure. I lied to myself. I said I was going to do something and I didn't. So you start to beat yourself down. And instead, why not have it, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to have it at 10 o'clock. Maybe just switching up your routine a little bit and deciding to have your coffee at 10 o'clock every day instead of 9 o'clock, because if it's not working out for you, having your coffee by 9 o'clock, this is a simple example of just coffee, right? There's so many different things that I'd love to hear an example from you, actually. What is that one thing right now, that one habit or one, let's say it's a meal or practice or prayer, what is that one thing that you say you want to do and it just can't seem to work out for you, that you say you want to do at this time or by this time and it's not working out for you? So identifying what it is and allowing yourself some, what does it say here? Be patient and kind with yourself. That this is your own point of discomfort, identifying that this simple habit, this simple practice, this simple meal to have or routine that is not working out for you so far. By identifying it, you can start to how to put it, when you identify what it is and why it's happening, you can rewrite, you can reschedule, you can restructure in a way that makes more sense for you. Because right now, by having these solid walls around, I'm doing this, like let's say breakfast, right? Because it's talking about mealtime. Let's say for breakfast, I need to have my breakfast by this time. And if I don't, you're going to feel, you feel like you're not a woman of your word. So instead, change the time to a different time and stick to it. Have it every single day, committing to one daily routine. Maybe there's a new routine that you want to bring into your life. Kelly said taking a walk. That's a great example. Taking a walk. It might be I want to take a walk every single day and you just can't seem to get yourself out the door, or taking a walk by this time and you can't seem to make it by that time. So it might, so depending on where you are. So if it's one of those, I just want to take a walk, one walk a day, and you don't, then that would mean having a specific time for you to go on that walk. And also it might be helpful, depending on your personality and how you prefer to go on these walks, that it might mean bring a friend along. It might mean bring your phone to take pictures. Have a reason to go on that walk. What is that one thing that will help you to feel excited and energized and motivated for you to go on that walk? What is going to get you out that door and at that specific time? So having a healthy routine around the routine itself. Another way of describing mindset and the power that the mindset has on us, and that it keeps us set and stuck in certain ways. And if we don't like it, then we gotta go into the mindset and tweak it. Understand it first and then tweak it. Because if we try to tweak it without understanding it, then the old set of cards will come back and take over. And I see there's a couple of more comments. I'll read them in a second. I'm just gonna read the last itty bitty part. When in balance, cheerful and graceful. When out of balance, fragile, frustrated. To bring to balance your daily routine. And if your daily routine is the reason why you feel fragile and frustrated, why you feel out of balance, then that is where you go to sort these things out, right? That means that there's something that is out of balance when it comes to the daily routine. So we're going to go into the hyena in a second. Let me take a peekaboo at the comments. Kelly said, I am the champion of selfless service, especially for my G-Town children. The first thing that comes to mind is, what are you doing to refill your cup to make sure that you're fully available for all of those G-Town children? I'm not exactly sure what G-Town children means, but probably the town where you live, or grandchildren, perhaps. So if you are giving and giving and giving and giving, and you're not taking enough time to refill yourself, to recharge yourself, to re-energize yourself, then feel drained and tired and out of balance, right? Out of balance on the butterfly, on the beaver, and it's going to be out of balance on hyena, just feeling out of balance. So what brings to balance is going within, doing what works for us, all grown children. That's what that means. I love autocorrect, right? Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Okay, then Laura said, what about me? It helps to give to me and support me and be compassionate with myself. It's important to fill my own cup so I have something real to pour out for others. Very well said, and it's very true. In order for us to give to others, we need to give to ourselves first, because otherwise, what are we giving? If we're drained and we're tired and we're annoyed and frustrated, even though we go to help in a positive way, we're giving all that we are with that. So what we're giving is that negative part. Even though you're giving something good, negativity is going to be attached to it. It's like if you go and buy something, whether it's used or you go buy something from a store, it's going to have some energy attached to it. And in order for you to fully welcome that item into your house, you got to cleanse it, you got to clean it, you got to sage it, you go to burn a candle. I feel like that's why I'm burning a black candle for all of us today. And then it keeps Laura on the same comment says, that's where I want to be, in giving freely and openly without expectations that depends on others. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you recognize that you still have that part within you. Like I said, all of us have that part in us. That's the ego, and that and healthy ego is good, but also recognizing that, ooh, right now I'm giving because I do want to get something in return, and then kind of like washing your hands clean and working through how you need to work through it, so that way there is none of that attachment or expectation in the end. Debbie says, adopt a pet also came up for me. Right now I'm pet sitting for my sister. Ooh, see? Both of you ladies, you have pets to take care of. One you get to keep and the other one you don't. And maybe it's time for you to adopt a pet as well, Debbie. Why not? Would it be a cat or a dog? Which one would you choose? Or both? And Debbie says, I need a reason or destination for a walk. Yeah. So going for a walk, that is a motivator. What's the destination? So that way you're excited to get there, and also you know when you got there, and then you can turn around and come back. Rebecca says, meal prepping is definitely one for me. That's the one we were talking about, the daily routines. So meal prepping for us, and I know you mentioned that you would love to have me do a video on the meal prepping, and I'll do a separate one. But what I want to mention is meal prepping is depends on your lifestyle. What works for us might not work for you. We like to meal prep for the whole entire week, so it's breakfast and lunch and dinner we make every single day for the most part. And so that way I don't have to think about what to cook for myself, for the breakfast, for the lunch, and it's ready to go, and I can just focus on other things that to me feel a lot more important, because otherwise I'm just like you, Rebecca. You said I am often skipping meals, and I'm not able to make dinner because I didn't prepare in advance. I was in that same place where my priorities weren't there, because I wasn't seeing food as the priority, and it was also taking a lot of time and energy to go and prepare, to put it together, then to go sit down and eat it. It would be like an hour sometimes. That takes me away from what I was already previously doing. Whereas now I have my food ready to go, warm it up, sit down, eat it really quickly, or I can still do other things as I'm eating it, and sometimes not, right? Other things don't necessarily mean for work. It might mean for just myself and my mindset, the thing that I need right now to make me feel balanced. And at the same time, sometimes it's just to sit down, eat the food, and look out the window, watch the squirrels run around, or the birds fly, or the snow come down, right? Depending on the weather. So preparing in advance makes a big difference, and having a plan. If you're making meals every single day, and having a plan for that meal, the day before, for example. Or it could be on Sunday, you sit down and you write down what you're going to cook this day, we're going to cook this day and cook that day. And then the night before, you have all those things ready in the fridge to go, so that way the next day comes and it's all ready. Or actually, once a week, cook for the whole entire week, keep it in the fridge or the freezer, depending on what type of food it is, and then you just warm it up and boom, ready to go. What else was there? So I read that one. Laura says, couldn't get my captions turned on so I could actively participate. I'll watch the recording later. Have a lovely day. Thank you, Yana. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, captions don't always work for some reason. They tend to work after, sometimes during the live, and most of the time it's after the live is done. But thank you for being on here for as long as you could, and I'll see you on the replay. Debbie says, a cat lives with me at home. Yeah, so maybe another cat, maybe another dog. And Rebecca says, on the weekends, I'm in the kitchen half the day. So, yeah, if you're already in the kitchen half the day, so I'm curious to hear, are you meal prepping already in the kitchen for the week? And that's why you're already there half the day. And if you added a little bit more, would that help you out to meal prep for the rest of the week as well? Now, I'm not a meal prep expert by all means. My husband is actually the one that guides us. As I like to say, he's a chef and I'm the sous. But there's so many. So if you're curious to find like different types of meals and steps and stuff like that, there's so many of these experts online that do this every single day that you can follow, learn from as well, and ideas you can get from a slew of people. Rebecca says, I'm cooking and cleaning up for my whole family. Okay, yeah, so you're already cooking, and involve your family as well. You don't have to do all this by yourself. They can help in the cleaning, or they can help in the cooking. So that way it's not just you by yourself. It's not fun to do it all by yourself and do it alone. So involve them. They're more than capable of helping. And at the same time, you're doing them a favor by setting them up for success in future. Rebecca says, I need to focus on this. Yeah, so this is what comes up for you, that this is what you need to focus on, and spend a little bit more time. Focus on that. Get, find yourself the information and the knowledge that you need in order for you to feel balanced and steady on your footing, right? So you feel comfortable, you have that clarity that you're looking for, because often we will feel frazzled or feel out of balance because there's lack of clarity. So that might help. Okay, let's get into the hyena, and then we will hyena out of here, hide us out of here. I think hyena is somewhere here. Interesting animals here. Some of them I have not seen. So hyena is what element? Fire. Ooh, fire ahead. Hyena, humor, wit, sarcasm. Humor heals. Having a wit about you is also it's a form of confidence, let's say. And sarcasm, I mean, yeah, that's part of humor. Could be good, could be bad, depending on what kind of sarcasm you have. The hyena personality is a jokester and crowd pleaser. But below the surface, there are unfulfilled dreams to be realized. This is a mask that some might wear. Oh, I'll use this like that. So this is a mask that some might wear. That putting your humor. So when you feel, I'm curious to hear from you all. Put your hand up if when you are uncomfortable, you mask it with humor. Or do you mask it with some snotty remark, like a witty remark? Or do you mask it with sarcasm when you're uncomfortable, or when you're annoyed, or when you're triggered? How do you use your hyena mask to make you feel better? Rebecca says, these cards are really aligned for me today. Oh, glad to hear. So how's your hyena coming up? Instead of saying what you want to say, you might make a joke out of that, or you might have a sarcastic comment around what you really want to say. So below the surface, there are unfulfilled dreams to be realized. Taking time to go within and realize your dreams. Rebecca says, awkward humor or sarcasm. Yeah. I just stay silent. Sometimes, actually, no, I just make jokes when I want to make jokes. But this is the future as well, by reminding you of your future. And then if nothing changes, it'll stay that same way. Rebecca says, I even laugh when I'm in extreme pain. Yeah, that is quite normal as well, because, you know, a good girl does not want to let anybody else around her feel bad or at fault. Might laugh, might make jokes, might be sarcastic, might be, you know, spunky and witty. A lot of comedians, they become comedians because it comes from a lot of pain. And then they've learned to laugh about it, and that is when they're able to go on stage and talk about it. When the hyena card appears, it's time to reflect on your reliance on sarcasm and humor to express your truth. Find healthier ways, healthier coping mechanisms to express and speak your truth. Kayla says, I just get quiet. Yeah, me too. I usually just get quiet and keep it with it, because I've learned that humor didn't work. Sarcasm, I never liked sarcasm because usually it can be really hurtful. And witty comments, yeah, those ones I have started using. Debbie says, I sometimes laugh at inappropriate times, yeah, that's the nerves. That's just nervousness. Good girls don't cry, Debbie says. Exactly. Good girls don't cry, so you would laugh instead of crying when you're uncomfortable. So what I'm trying to say here is these ways of expressing yourself is a clear flag that something is off and that you want to say something, but that good girl is not letting you. So instead of holding it in, find a way to allow it out in a nice, loving, gentle manner as much as possible without making a joke out of that, because it's not going to be taken seriously, and you want to be taken seriously, without being sarcastic about it, because it's just going to be rejected and the other person will put their walls up, instead of laughing when it's not even funny. Your pain is not funny. What you're going through is not funny. And what you are going through, what you're dealing with, does matter. And if the other person does not think so, then find out why. Find a different way to express yourself, express your truth, and not hold it in, because that's not healthy either. And I'll be the first one to admit that it's not healthy, because it just bottles up, bottles up, bottles up, until you just find yourself in a really dark place. And that's not where any one of us want to be, right? We all want to be seen. We all want to be heard. We all want to be loved, supported, validated, and understood. And the only way that will happen is if you actually say what you want to say, speak truth, and not a bunch of lies, right? Making a joke out of that, humor, that in a way comes across as lies. Sarcasm, same thing. So speak your truth, find your voice, and you will find it through practice. Kayla says sometimes it is better to just think first and speak later. Yeah. Oh, 100%. Because what thinking does, it allows us to process, allows us to understand what we experienced, and then how can we say this and respond to it in a healthier way. And sometimes we recognize that this doesn't even need a response at all. It's just whatever we experienced was just for us to really process and understand, and not allow that to happen later, right? It depends on the situation. Everything's situational. Are you using jokes to hide all the resentments in relationships, or to mask things that you feel uncomfortable discussing? How would your life change if you decided that every time you feel uncomfortable, you're going to face that uncomfortableness head on and deal with it right then and there without putting it off? How would your life change? How would your life be different if you decided to not avoid the discomforts, but go right in? Jump right into the fire. This is a fire card, right? Jump right into the fire. How would your life be different? What would change? How would you be different? If you feel uncomfortable discussing something, maybe that's where you start. What would happen if you took your goals seriously? What would happen if you took your goals, not somebody else's goals, but your goals seriously? What would happen? Let me see. Debbie responded to Kelly. Kelly, that was drummed into my head as a child, but it just made me shove it down my throat. Yes, and that was a response to sometimes it is better to just think first and speak later. I feel like that is something that, now that you say that, Debbie, that was something that was drummed into my head as well. That think before you speak. And there's definitely value in that, but sometimes if you've already been there, done that, there's no more thinking to do, and just speak. Don't hold back, because you holding back, you're just allowing whatever it is that's happening to go on, right? If somebody drove into your car, are you just going to allow it? Are you going to think about it and then speak later? No, you're going to deal with it right then and there. So like I said, everything is situational. And we're the best judges of what to do and how to do it. And at the same time, we learn how to be better judges going forward. Rebecca says, I've always taught my kids and students to think before acting. Yeah, think before acting is one approach, but then think before speaking. That's a little bit different because action involves physical action. And with that one, I would say for the most part, yeah, you do want to think before you act. Before you jump off a cliff, you want to think, you want to process, is it worth it? Am I going to be safe? Am I going to be okay? Or do I just, oh, here's an idea, let's go jump off the cliff, right? And then the same approach, I guess, can be applied to know who you're speaking with, and that sometimes you might have to think before you speak. You should technically always think before you speak and allow that to process. Does that make sense? And then when you say it out loud, it might still not make sense. How many of you have made jokes that you thought they were funny in your head and you said them out loud and they were not funny at all? So you can do as much thinking as you want inside your head, but you're not going to get it. You're not going to hear it for what it is until you speak it out loud. Sometimes speaking out loud, you recognize, probably shouldn't have, right? So with speaking, I would say if you are ready to speak, speak. And then Debbie says, I still work on speaking up. Yeah. Continue working on that. And then before you know it, you'll be speaking up without holding anything back. How many years of practice have you had holding back your tongue to now? How many years of practice have you had speaking up? It's going to take some time to rewrite that programming. Okay, now, just to wrap up, when out of balance, charming, witty, fun to be around, life of the party, right? When out of balance, scrappy, petty, suspicious, which means not trusting. And petty, holding on to things that don't matter. So when you feel out of balance, you feel in a negative way, right? You feel bad. And that goes for all of them. When you feel out of balance, what are your go-tos? What are your go-tos? With this one, I think with both of them was take care of yourself, work on yourself. With this one, sobriety. And what does sobriety mean to you? For some people, it means one thing. For other people, it means another thing. And then there's Google. Right? So Google doesn't have all the answers. A lot of these answers you gotta find yourself, and you gotta have your own understandings of what meaning does this word hold for you. What integrity means to one person, it means a little bit different to somebody else. You go to Google, it has one meaning. And yes, the core of the word is the meaning itself, like success. Success has a meaning to it, but what success means to you and what success means to me and what it looks like and sounds like is going to be different. Yes, some areas might be the same, but it's still going to be a little bit different. Okay, so that is all that I have for you ladies for today. I hope this was a helpful reading. Rebecca already told me this was exactly what she needed today and how the cards were perfectly aligned. This is the past, this is the present, and this is the future. And you sometimes need to just be. Just sit and think. Maybe perhaps one of the things, I think it was in a butterfly, where carve out the routine, a healthy routine, having time to think, having time to process, having time to even be negative can help you to be better, can help you to be positive. Because by you spending specific time every single day to be negative and write those things down and get that out of your system, Sit down all at once. Get all the negativity out. And a piece of paper, write it down, get it all out so it's not there throughout the day. Get that out of the way, right? So go into the bathroom first thing in the morning, you get that out, and then you can go on with your day. So with the negativity, sit down, get that out of your system, dump it all on a piece of paper, see it for what it is. If you don't like something in there, you have the option, more than one option, to change it to what you would much rather prefer. If you like some of these things, which some of you might not, then you keep it. And then some of these things you might decide, I'm going to do this later. Later is okay, because we're not here to fix everything at once. It's just not possible. But for a lot of these things, all of them, negativity is a mindset. It is a program that we're all running on and continue to be reminded of from all the external places. And if we don't like it, change it. Sometimes it might be coming from your family or friends, and you might not recognize just how negative they are until you start listening. And if all of your friends and all of your family are negative, how can you be positive? You just get drowned out by all the negativity. So what do? You bring in more positivity, more positivity. You're not here to change these people. So in the meantime, you might just keep your distance until they work on themselves, but allow yourself that space, the physical and emotional space, to do you, to focus on you, and to just be. And find a solution to all your problems. Because every problem has at least one solution. It cannot exist without. There's at least one solution. So find a solution for your problem. But your problem, you sometimes need to identify what that problem actually is and get very, very, very clear on that. And when you do, you'll find one or many solutions for it. And then go for it. If you're uncomfortable, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. It means you are going in the right direction and you're growing. If you're scared, also usually a good sign. That means you're growing and you're going in the right direction. You're going against your default program that you're trying to rewrite. You're not going to feel comfortable when you're rewriting your default program. You're not supposed to. Otherwise, you'd just be staying the same and everything will be the same. But once you start doing the uncomfortable things, I'm telling you, you're going to start identifying where else growth is needed, and you'll be doing it and doing it and doing it. And that discomfort is going to be rewritten in your mindset as growth and opportunity and excitement. So you'll start to recognize that what you're feeling is not anxiety, it's excitement. Because the difference is, in the body it's the same. Anxiety and excitement, it's absolutely the same in the body. The only difference is what your set of the mind, your mindset, is telling you it is. So if you change that, everything starts to change. Anyways, that is all. Thank you very much, ladies, for being on here with me. Kelly, Rebecca, Debbie, Laura was on here. Who else was on here? I think that's pretty much everyone. I saw a couple of ladies just hopped on and off. Thank you, everybody who was on here. The commented. I saw Caroline was on here as well. And I will see you all, hopefully, tomorrow at the Sacred Circle at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And if not tomorrow at the Sacred Circle, then I will be going live at 11:30 a.m.-ish on my personal page for story time with moi, Yana Kasperczak. And I don't know what it is, because I usually pick the topic right before I go. It's like, card reading. I don't know what card I'm going to pull. And then the topic, sometimes it comes to me right before I go to bed. Sometimes it comes to me throughout the day before I go live. And there's always a story attached to it. But other than that, have an amazing day, everybody. Thank you all for being on here with me. And Rebecca, you have an amazing day yourself. Thank you. And I'll see you tomorrow. And Debbie says, I have all week to myself alone, but not lonely. Ooh, I love that. What are you going to do with all that time? Probably see me on all my live videos, and I'll see you on them. Anyways, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. I sure as heck will enjoy the rest of my day with my family and not think about work too much. But I will put a little compilation, I guess is what it's called, video of the progress of what we have done with our renovations so far. But other than that, until next time, bye everybody.